In the excitement following the announcement of Fable 4, I felt compelled to have a look back at the franchise so far. The Fable series is an action role-playing story set in the fictional state of Albion, a fantasy land that over the course of the games and books transitions from a rustic medieval setting to somewhere akin to the Industrial Revolution. In this video, the history of the Fable Universe, observed through the original Fable all the way to the latest entry to the series, will be covered, bringing you up to speed before the release of Fable 4. In the prehistory prior to the series, Albion had been tormented by a court of beings from the void beyond the material world, known as the Knight, the Jack, and the Queen of Blades. As they wreaked havoc on its denizens, a young boy known as William Black was born, possessing magical abilities that became known as the Powers of Will. In an attempt to defeat the trio, William was accidentally transported to the void and managed to steal an arcane sword of power known as the Sword of Aeons. With the sword, he managed to defeat the court and ushered in a new era for Albion, becoming the first Archon of the Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom was described as a place where cities were built in mere weeks and marvelous machines were constructed that ran on will alone. Albion reigned as the greatest centre of commerce and philosophy that the world had ever known. Despite its golden age, as the years went by, the Old Kingdom began to unravel. Unlimited power and no foes to fight spelt doom for the kingdom, as the first Archon's descendants reigned in terror, abusing their citizens and pushing the boundaries of will. Centuries old by this point, and suffering from a disease on his very soul from his time spent in the void, William Black could not stop them. Despairing of the kingdom he wrought, William travelled to the void once more to purge his body of the plagued piece of his soul and disappeared from Albion. With his disappearance, the Old Kingdom disintegrated into a multitude of warring factions between the Archon's heirs, but did not implode immediately. Through the passage of time, however, a cataclysmic event occurred that brought ruination upon the once proud state. But more on this later. It's time to move on to the first entry to the series, the original Fable, set untold centuries into the future. In Fable, the story centers on the hero of Oakvale, who starts his life as a young boy, completing chores in order to purchase a birthday gift for his sister Teresa. His world crumbles down around him, however, when his town and family are ripped apart by a bandit horde. Saved from death and raised in the Heroes Guild, the hero of Oakvale rises to become one of the most famous, or infamous, depending on your alignment in the game, in Albion's history. The hero locates his sister, who has become a blind seeress, and their mother, who is a captive of Jack of Blades, one of the original beings from the void thought killed by William Black. Jack seeks the Sword of Aeons, the sword that William stole, and has captured the hero's family, as they are the descendants of William himself. The hero of Oakvale and Jack have a colossal battle, ending with Jack's defeat and the hero in possession of the sword itself. They are then given the choice to possess the sword by murdering Teresa, or casting it into the void to be destroyed. Either decision, Jack does return in the form of a dragon, and upon defeat, the hero is presented with another choice: destroy his mask and end his reign of terror, or wear the mask and imbue his power. Given the fact that the world was not destroyed, it seems likely that the hero chose the first and benevolent option. However, in the book Fable Jack of Blades, he is hinted at having returned. Set sometime in the 500 years between Fable 1 and 2, the protagonist Zero deals with a bandit leader masquerading as Jack of Blades. It is insinuated towards the end of the book that Zero is Jack himself, given dialogue shared with the dying bandit leader and the traumatization of a Belverine when it sees Zero's true form. It is unknown if this was a legitimate plot point to the series or if it was just a twist for the book, as he's made no other appearances in the series since. As mentioned previously, 500 years have passed between the original Fable and Fable 2. During this time, arrogant, self-serving heroes preyed on the common people with the powers of strength, skill, and will. Albion experienced a period of transition, however, as the old ways of magic were replaced with a focus on science, industry, and technology. The commoners eventually leveled the playing field with the invention of firearms and destroyed the Heroes Guild. Since then, ordinary people believe that magic has faded away, while heroes have become far less common, with the exception of the previously mentioned hero of Bowerstone. An orphan, accompanied by their sister Rose, they are encouraged to purchase a wish-granting music box by Teresa, the now 500-year-old sister of the hero of Oakvale. Their wish to enter the castle of the local Lord Lucian Fairfax comes true, but it is revealed that Lucian has an alternative motive. He intends to rebuild a weapon of great power from the Old Kingdom, the Tattered Spire, in an attempt to utilize its power to revive his recently deceased wife and child. In order to harness its power, he requires 3 specific heroes of strength, skill, and will, and test the children, given they must be heroes due to the fact they activated the music box. To his horror, he realizes that one of the siblings is destined to stop him, as they are ancestors of the hero of Oakvale. He murders Rose and shoots the hero out of a window, where he is saved by Teresa, who raises the hero away from Bowerstone. Intent on stopping Lucian, the hero is instructed by Teresa to recruit the heroes of strength, skill, and will that Lucian is looking for. They are able to achieve this aim over many years, including having to spend a decade within the Spire as an undercover guard in order to rescue Garth, the hero of will. Upon uniting all 3, they undergo a ritual to summon the Relic, a weapon described to defeat Lucian. Midway through, they are ambushed by Lucian, who once again attempts to murder the hero, as well as their dog, and takes the 3 other heroes to the Spire to make his wish. The hero survives this latest attempt on their life, and with the relic in hand, ironically revealed to be the original music box from their childhood, they make their way to the Spire to stop Lucian. An important side note about the Spire is the history of the tower. Originally created as a conduit for all magic in the Old Kingdom, the Spire was said to grant its holder a single, unfathomable wish. The first and last time the Spire was activated, the Old Kingdom was destroyed, with many believing that this was in fact the wish itself. Lucian plans to utilize the Spire in a similar manner. Viewing the current world as an abhorrent place if it would take away his wife and child, he strives to create a world without disorder. Lucian is killed by the hero, or Reaver, the hero of skill if you're lazy, and his plans are stopped. Teresa appears, claiming the Spire for her own, and sends the heroes to different locations, with Hannah, the hero of strength, going north, while Garth and Reaver teleport to the former's homeland of Samarkand. The hero returns to the Spire on a later visit, where Teresa shows them a vision of their future as the King of Albion, as well as their heir, who comes to be known as the hero of Brightwall. It is ultimately evident that Teresa was the mastermind behind the events of the game, having manipulated Lucian and the hero from the start. She herself was the provider of the music box relics, having set these events in motion to rebuild and occupy the Spire. 50 years into the future, the hero of Bowerstone is revealed to have brought Teresa's vision into reality, having united the kingdom and reigning as monarch until their death. Assuming the role of their previously mentioned child, Fable 3 sees the new hero escaping and leading a revolt against their tyrannical brother, King Logan. Unfortunately, while on a mission to recruit allies on the neighbouring continent of Aurora, the hero encounters the true antagonist of the game, the Crawler. The Crawler is another entity of the Void, similar to Jack of Blades. Sadistic and twisted, the Crawler seeks to possess, consume, and destroy all life on Albion. It is explained that Logan himself encountered the Crawler years earlier and barely survived. Upon returning to Albion, he resolved to prepare the nation to defeat the entity by rampant militarism, leading to his rise as a tyrant. Terrible it may be, the Crawler is merely a lieutenant of another nightmare, the Corruptor. You may remember towards the start of the video, where centuries ago the first Archon, William Black, travelled to the Void and purged his soul of a corrupting disease. This illness, coupled with the unbridled chaos of the Void, gave birth to the Corruptor. Given that it had once been part of William Black itself, the Corruptor came to believe that it alone had the right to rule Albion as the new Archon. When the Tattered Spire had originally been built, the immense will and magic emanating from the structure opened a rift between reality and the Void. Being too powerful to enter themselves, the Corruptor sent the Crawler through to lay waste to the Old Kingdom. In an effort to stop the Corruptor's darkness from consuming the land, the era's 3 greatest heroes combated the Crawler but were unable to defeat the creature outright. They sought instead to close the rift of the Spire and use their power to imprison the Crawler. The heroes were ultimately successful, but the volatile nature of the magic of the Spire, combined with the abrupt closure of the Void Rift, caused the Spire to detonate. The true cause of the destruction of the Old Kingdom was not from a wish to see it destroyed, but ultimately a dream to see it survive. The crawler was reawakened after millennia, once Lucian had rebuilt the spire back in Fable 2. In her efforts to obtain power to protect Albion from evil, Teresa had unwittingly invited these very forces back into the fold. The hero of Brightwall, after escaping from the crawler, usurps their brother's crown and prepares their homeland for war. They repel the crawler's assault to spread darkness on the kingdom, costing many lives, but are ultimately successful in securing the future of Albion. The peace was not to last, unfortunately. In the novel Fable, Edge of the World, the darkness is stated to have resurfaced in Samarkand, the country that Garth had originated and returned to. The hero of Brightwall, now King of Albion, rallied the royal army to defeat the darkness of the Corruptor and dispose of Samarkand's dictator, the Empress. Meeting with Garth, they launch a two-pronged attack, with Garth leading an assault on the capital city Zahada, while the hero sought to infiltrate and incapacitate the Empress. They weren't successful, with the royal army decimated by the creatures of the void, while the hero himself was captured by the Empress. The royal army were forced to retreat, and the king, and last hero of Albion, was forced to languish in captivity, where he remains. By the time of the last entry, Fable the Journey, another 50 years has passed, and Albion is in decline. The king is still missing in action, and the kingdom teeters on a knife edge. Similar to the Crawler, two new lieutenants of the Corruptor, the Devourer and the Temptress, have hunted Teresa, seeking to eliminate and clear any further obstacles for their master. Wounded and distraught, Teresa is found by a travelling citizen named Gabriel, who assists her in reaching the spire. Teresa helps Gabriel obtain the powers of will, and the two are able to combat the Devourer and the Temptress. Upon reaching the spire, the rift to the void begins to open as it had centuries in the past, and the Corruptor begins to slip through. With the spire close to imploding, Teresa has Gabriel use her as a living conduit so that she can harness the spire's wish. She then uses the power of the spire to destroy the Corruptor, sacrificing herself in the process. The spire once again implodes, but does not destroy the world as it had last time. Gabriel survives the explosion, and with his newfound power, he resolves to protect Albion from any future threats that it may face. And with that, the story comes to a close, set to be picked back up with the release of Fable 4. At the time of this video, there's been no concrete information given on the events of the game. It does appear evident that the story may pick up from the capital city of Bowerstone, given that the city does appear in the trailer. In any case, this has been the history of the Fable series so far. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please feel free to like and subscribe for more content in the future.